What if the life that you're living isn't the only option? And what if you gave yourself permission to believe that something else was possible? Welcome back to the Prescription and Travel MD podcast, where one of the things that I talk a lot about is not waiting to live your life. And sometimes the biggest shift isn't changing your life dramatically overnight, but rather it's giving yourself permission to believe that something different is possible. Knowing that you don't have to have it all figured out, but just sit with it for a moment. It's possible. Try it out for fun. Because the moment that you allow yourself to believe that something is possible, you really do start making decisions differently. You start asking different questions. You start noticing opportunities that you would have ignored before. And slowly, the life that you once thought was so out of reach doesn't feel so far away anymore. Today's episode is a perfect example of what that can actually look like. So I'm joined by Tiffani and Kori Lewis. Tiffani is a nurse, a friend of mine, and her husband Kori, a physical therapist, who made the decision to leave Las Vegas and move their family to Mexico City. So I was sad that I actually missed her on our recent trip, especially since she was the one who kind of nudged me to book the trip. But glad we could catch up here on the show. So we're going to talk a lot about what led to that decision, how they're navigating work and finances, and what it's been like raising their kids in a completely new environment, how they're choosing to build the life that they want now. Today's episode is going to open your eyes even more to what's possible. And if you've ever thought, you know, about living somewhere different, even just for a season, I think you'll really enjoy this conversation. All right, let's get on to the show. So, Tiffani, Kori, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today. I know this is going to be a piece that people are just absolutely going to love. Why don't you get started by telling us a little bit about yourselves?
Hey guys, I'm Corey. It's Tiffany. I'm a physical therapist and now living in Mexico City.
And I am an emergency room nurse that lives in Mexico City.
Yeah, so we met while we were working at Summerlin Hospital in the ER, and our moms are mutual friends, and so we just clicked, and I realized we had so much in common. Corey's from Trinidad, is that right?
That's right. Yeah, born and raised. Yeah, spent part of my life in New York City and then Las Vegas for about 16 years and now here.
Yeah, and so my husband's from Trinidad, and so we always talk about like going back to
Oh, we got to link up.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. And so I think it's always interesting to talk to people who have, just made this decision to kind of uproot their lives from what they were doing before and all of a sudden go and try out this new adventure. And you guys have been like in my radar for some time. So I'm glad we were able to get together to do this show. So tell us a little bit about what was your life like when you were living in Las Vegas and working full time?
So the past couple of years, that was actually busy because we have two little kids, 5 and 2. And it was almost like we were playing tag. Right. So I would work the shifts that I was on. Tiffany was off. She was on, I was off. So we never had much family time, maybe one day out of the week or so. But it was basically tag. And as a nurse, she's working 12 hours. So I'm home with the kids, which essentially turns out to like 13,
14.
14
Yeah.
hours, right? And I'm home with the kids. So that's basically all day. She'll come home and see the kids right before bed. So it was a busy life. It was good. Like we like couldn't complain about anything,
No,
really, but
busy.
it was just busy. Yeah, it was something that we didn't want to keep doing.
At what point did you decide, "Okay, we're not going to keep doing this anymore?" Because I think it's easy to say, "You know what? This is busy. I'm not sure that I like the way things are going," but it takes a lot to actually make that decision, to decide that you're going to do something, that you want something else, but I'm actually gonna make those things happen. So what was it for you?
I think that we decided that we were going to leave after we had our son. So that was like our 5-year plan. Like by the time he started kindergarten, we needed to figure out where we were going to go.
And then I think with us having traveled so much, like we were already exposed to other cultures. I'm from somewhere else outside of the U.S., born and raised. So it was for me. It was easy. It was always easy to see myself somewhere else. Like, oh, I can live here. I can do this. This is nothing. This is easy.
Yeah. And you guys were traveling a lot with your kids before?
Oh
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Our son, he's traveled quite a bit as well.
What are some of the places you guys have been able to visit, and tell us about your travel life before you left?
With kids?
Mhm. Without kids?
I backpack a lot. I think
2, 3?
I've taken 2 different years off of work and just travel. Like me, my backpack, and that was it, and I was gone. I've done that twice, and then even between at one point, there was not a single year that I had to work straight. This was up until COVID. So I graduated as physical therapist in 2009, and from then until COVID, hadn't worked a year straight because I was always gone.
Wow. Yeah. So, were you like a full-time employee, or you're working like contractor work, or how did that work out for you?
Always per diem. Throughout my entire PT career, I was per diem, still per diem. So we travel a lot, and then when Tiffany and I met, she had done some traveling.
Very little in comparison. So then we started traveling a lot more together.
Okay. What are some of the favorite places that you guys have been to?
Favorite? Oof.
We backpacked and tented through Norway to just no plan, just drove for 2
We
weeks.
literally just woke up and did whatever we felt that day. And that's how I backpack, right? I woke up, did whatever I wanted to, went wherever I wanted to go. If I didn't want to do something, just stay back because I had no time restrictions. So that's how I like to travel. That's how we travel now, still, even with kids.
I was gonna say, because I feel like things shift a little bit when you have kids, but no?
No.
If you have time,
Yeah.
you give yourself time. And we're not the family that's trying to see everything all the time. Right? We know we're going to this particular country. We know we're gonna see the highlights, but day to day, we're like, okay, if we meet someone else and we're having a good time, we're gonna vibe with these people.
Yeah.
If we like this city or town, we're gonna stay here for a little bit.
Yeah.
As a backpacker, I've had days where I've had probably like 4-hour breakfasts that turned into lunch. Because you're talking to someone and it's such a good time, right? And you've lost all sense of time.
I think that's that slow travel that people talk about all the time when you're out and you don't, again, have to see and do everything, but you're really just taking time to, like, savor those moments where that you're in. Yeah.
We took a trip, our first big trip with our son. How old is Ezzy? 14 months?
Yeah.
Like, about 14 months, we left. We were gone for 3 months. We went to Turkey for 5 weeks, Georgia for, like, 3 weeks, and then Portugal and Spain for 3 more weeks. And that's how Turkey was. We rented a car, and we liked, like, for example, we liked costs. So we just stayed longer, or when it was time to leave, we didn't have any plans of anything. We'd book the hotel on the drive to the next city, or
As a
that's
matter
how we
as a
did.
matter of fact, in that on that trip, leaving the US, we were like, "Okay, we're gonna hit these particular countries," and to this day, we still haven't hit some of them because we spent a longer time in Turkey.
Yeah. And what was it about Turkey that made you guys wanna stay there?
Oh, Turkey
It's
was
beautiful.
amazing. It was amazing.
Beautiful country, beautiful people. It allowed for us to slow down, but we rented a car the whole time, so we were driving around. Roads were great, so why rush it, you know? And even in those 5 weeks, we had only seen a fraction of the country, like a small part of the country. So, just I think it
It was
just allowed for
nice.
slow travel.
Yeah. And when you guys are traveling, are you guys using points for any of these, like, trips for, like, flights or hotels, or are you Airbnb-ing it? What's your mode of travel?
I think a little bit of everything,
Yeah.
a little bit of everything. We primarily do Airbnbs, and last couple of years started doing Hyatt a little more.
Hyatt with Hyatt points.
I do have all the cards and all the points, so
Oh, good. Good for you.
yeah, until our little daughter, she's now 2, so we're gonna have to start paying for flights for her, and I was like, "Babe, let's just stack points because we're gonna have to start paying." So, we do have a bunch of points that we're gonna put to work soon.
Okay. Are you globalists?
No, it
We were, weren't we
at
not?
one point, yes,
Yeah, at
but,
one point.
yeah, not anymore.
Yeah, I just imagine you guys are traveling a lot, so you're traveling for fun and traveling as a family, but I know you're also traveling for work, right?
No, never for work.
I now just started traveling for work. So I do, like, contracts here and there.
Alright, so you guys were traveling for fun, and then the kids came along, and you continued to do what you were doing and didn't have much of a change in terms of your travel experiences, it sounds like, or at least the logistics of it.
Not much. I mean, it does involve a bit more planning. We have to plan more. We have to look ahead and think ahead, think of the kids. But in terms of where we want to go, it hasn't changed. Like we've taken Ezra to the Middle East, to Saudi, to
Mhm.
Oman. We've done all these things with him, and I've hiked with him for hours on my with him on my back. So we still do everything. It's just a little bit more planning.
Well, I feel like it sounds like you guys have an amazing life, incredible experiences already, and taking time for yourselves because I started this podcast to really encourage people to get out and do the exact things that you're doing. I was finding that I would talk to physicians and other healthcare professionals, and they would tell me that they had gone like years without taking a vacation, and I was like, "What do you mean?" And even us, like, we work a lot, and I've always found time to travel, but it took a lot of effort to get everyone on board to say, "Let's go." And I just really wanted people to get out there and do the things that you're doing. So you had a great life, you were traveling, you were here living in Las Vegas, and then made the decision to move to Mexico City. So how did you get to that point? What was it that made you guys decide that this was gonna be the next step for you?
I think that was a multifactorial decision, right? As our son, he was approaching school age, and schools in Vegas are terrible, like downright terrible. Like, so I'm sorry to say. So we didn't want that for him. There's also the issue of school violence, gun violence, a lot of things we didn't want to worry about. And me being from another country, born and raised, I knew how it was, and I knew the things that my family and relatives they don't have to think about. So we made that decision. We're like, okay, we're gonna do it before he has to start school, and so far it's been great.
Okay. And what was the process to get you guys from Las Vegas to Mexico City?
So that involved so we did it the legal way, the right way, got our residency.
Took,
Um,
like, 2 probably a 2-year, almost a year and a half process.
yeah, you show economic solvency, basically that you can take care of yourself here in Mexico. So based on how much you make, and not very much. At least at the time we did it wasn't bad. So initially, the first step is that they say, okay, we recognize that you can take care of yourself. We're going to give you a 6 month temporary, well, a 6 month visa
Visa.
to Mexico, right? Within the 6 months, you have to go to Mexico or come to Mexico and finish the process. Then you get once you do that, you get 1 year of residency. So we did all of that while still living in Vegas. And then I think before that year was up, we had moved. So right now we're currently on
3-year.
3 year residency visas. And once that well, 4th year really, once that's up, we'll have permanent residency.
Is that the goal to stay there permanently?
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah, as long as it works, yes. But it's also for us, it was something that we can give our kids, it's another option. So they have US passports, they have Trinidadian passports, and then if they want to and they choose to, they'll have after a while, they'll have Mexican residency and citizenship if they want to.
And what made you guys decide on Mexico City? After seeing so many places around the world, what was it?
Oh, that was a hard one because I think it all boiled down to Mexico City or Mexico in general, Colombia, and Spain. And I think it's proximity to the US,
Yeah.
really, like, as an easy landing spot. Spain is just a little further with us coming back to work. And
Yeah,
as a
same with Colombia.
family, like, I love Colombia, like, I love, love, love Colombia, but it's a little dicey sometimes, It's a little dicey, and I didn't wanna have to deal with that with the kids or leaving to go back to the US to work and have to be worried about them. So, Mexico City kinda won.
And so you found that you didn't have that same experience or same concerns in Mexico City?
Yeah, fortunately, yeah, it's with safety-wise, we feel really good here.
Yeah, that's interesting because I feel like Mexico City, often gets a bad rap for or not Mexico City, but just Mexico in general, gets a bad rap, and I think people like to lump different parts of Mexico into an entire country, and, they miss out on things like that.
That's true. It's a huge country with 32 states?
32
32
states, yeah.
states, right? And what you like you said, they lump it all together. Everything is considered cartel violence, even the outliers. We had an incident about a week and a half ago
Yeah.
in PV with the cartel retaliation, and as horrible as that was, nothing changed here. Nothing was affected. Life went on as normal. We didn't see anything, didn't hear anything. So it's the equivalent of something happening in Minnesota and you being affected in Vegas, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's good to hear that because I know people were kind of like, "What do I do? Do I change my trip? I'm planning on going on vacation. I'm going to Mexico City or, I'm going to Cancun. Like, what do I do?" And I think everyone just kinda said, like, "Just don't go." Um, but I think it's important to hear, like, the boots on the ground experience, like, people who are living there, people who are, like, going about their day to day and say, "Hey, that happened, and it was, like, hundreds of miles away, and we weren't really affected by it."
There's a yes or no algorithm, like just making fun of like people coming to Mexico in general. And it gives you some examples. Are you coming to Mexico? Yes. Are you planning to sell or buy large quantity of drugs? And then it's a yes or no. If your answer is no, then ask another one. If your answer is yes, then it says yes, you might be in danger. But as long as you're coming here for normal things, a normal vacation, you're fine. And I'll give you an example of how safe we feel here, or how safe I feel. So on Thursday nights, I go to a run. I have a run club. It's called Mexico City Midnight Runner. So we don't start our run till like 8 p.m. And oftentimes I'm coming home after midnight, right? And all the friends that I've made in the group, they take the public transportation, or
Okay, hold on. First, before you continue, like, where are you running to? Taking 4 hours, like,
so we meet up at usually a pub or a taco spot, right? So you run maybe 3, 4 miles, nothing crazy, and then you end at the pub. So you can have tacos, you can drink, whatever. So it's a it's a social run. It's a very yeah, it's very social. So more often than not, I'm going home late, and everyone in the group, and this is a run club every night, every Thursday we have like 200 plus people. So it's pretty big. And they'll either take a bicycle home because we have the city bikes, it's called Echo BC. So you can use your bicycle pass and bike home, or you can take the bus or the train at night, at that time of night. And I noticed that all the girls, they were taking a bus, they were riding the bikes. So I started doing it. And so for me to take the bus or train, I still have to walk about 15 minutes to our place. And on that walk, it's not uncommon for me to see women walking their dogs like late at night, like that at that time in the morning, like just solo walking their dogs on their phone, whatever. So it feels very safe, at least in
Our
our
neighborhood.
neighborhood, several neighborhoods. So I can't complain about safety.
and how do you feel about that, Tiffany, in terms of safety? Because I know it's different for, like, a man who's, like, maybe a little more comfortable, versus, like, a woman who's coming and maybe you're, like, a solo traveler and you wanna explore Mexico City, but you have some hesitancy because of the things that you've heard.
No, I feel really good. I'm here walking by myself, taking an Uber by myself. When he's gone for work, I'm here by myself with the kids for a couple weeks, and I feel comfortable enough to, like, go out and walk with them to the park or walk with them to a restaurant or take the Uber and go somewhere. I feel very like no one bothers us here. There's no sketchy people. There's not I think we've maybe seen one homeless person, but they don't bother you in our neighborhood in the last 9 months. So, no, I feel I'm, like, not on edge.
Now, this is not to say that there's not some shady parts of
Yeah,
Mexico City.
but our area feels
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that can be said about even places in Vegas. So there, times where I worked at a certain hospital that I would like walk out to my car in the parking garage, and like I'd never felt this way before that I had to have like security escort me to my car, and I was just like, "Well, this place is a little sketch." So to have that, that intuition and to feel comfortable where you're at is very important
And everyone's also very, very nice. Like, very nice, very helpful, so that helps a lot, like, no one
We
like
feel a really nice sense of community
yeah,
here. There's times where Tiffany and I would be walking down the street without the kids if the kids are in school, and some random person that would say, "Hey, where are the kids?" Someone that we've never spoken to ever. Or we go to one of probably the biggest market in Mexico City. Um,
for, like, our groceries and
yeah, to
stuff.
get groceries or fresh produce. And anytime if I'm by myself or if it's just the two of us and not the kids, someone will ask us, like, "Where's the other person? Where are the kids?"
Yeah,
All the time.
everyone's very nice.
like, that would never happen here. Maybe because we have, like, too many grocery stores and you never, like, see people, but then also because we're not really I feel like I'm not paying attention, like, if I'm walking through the grocery store, unless it's someone I know, like, I don't have any recollection of you, and if I see you the next time, I probably will not remember that you at the same grocery store, like, 2 weeks ago, so the community is
Yeah, and for us, that makes us feel like we've been accepted into the community, you know?
Yeah,
It's they're all smiles.
all smiles. Everyone's very nice, the kids' school, the parents, they obviously know we're not from Mexico, so everyone's been very, very, like, helpful and accommodating to us. So, like, more so here than I think they would be in the US.
for sure. Do you guys both speak Spanish?
I do pretty
He does.
yeah.
I'm learning, I'm taking classes, but it's a challenge, but he speaks Spanish, and the kids speak Spanish now too.
Yeah, it's been a great 9 months so far, I would say.
Yeah. And are you both working there or just living there and working elsewhere? How does that work for you?
As for work, I've been able to keep my job in Las Vegas, so I fly back every 2 months or so. I'll work for 2, 3 weeks and then come back.
Yeah, and I'll if there's contracts or something for nursing, I'll do that in the States and then come back and forth.
Okay, good deal. Did you guys keep your place here or how did that work?
Yes. We still kept our place, it's being rented out. So, yeah, the plan is not to sell the house anytime soon. As long as it stays rented and everything's good, we're gonna keep it.
When you come back home to work, Corey, are you like staying in a hotel or do you just, say, "Hey, can I come stay at my place?"
No, I've gotten so lucky, like, everything aligned perfectly. I have a good friend, and he knew I was moving, or we were moving, and he said, "Hey, when you come back, you can crash at my place." He has a three-bedroom house, and only one bedroom, his bedroom, had any furniture in it. So 2 bedrooms completely empty. He said, "You can bring your stuff." So I did that. I brought all my stuff. I have a bed and everything there. So I go back and I stay at his place. My car is in his garage. So it's been a blessing. It's been really nice.
That's like the perfect setup.
Yeah, everything aligned perfectly.
Yeah,
Even for our rent, the house was rented before we moved. So it was great.
yeah, worked out.
It's nice when it works out that way. Tiffany, I know you were working in New York City for a while because I was in Mexico City last month, and I was hoping I'd get a chance to meet you guys and, hang out and do some things. And then I was like, "Oh, looks like she's still in New York working on that contract." So, yeah. So how's that been for you?
Yeah, I was gone for 6 weeks. The contract was good. It was a really, really good experience. I think some part of me always wanted to live in New York City and work in New York City. So the 6 weeks was really nice. They had me not in the emergency room, I don't think I told you. They had me in radiology. I landed in radiology, and it was a blessing in disguise. It was a great experience. So I have no complaints. It was exhausting. I was doing 6 days on, 1 day off, and then repeat that for
Well, I think 6 days on, 1 day off in radiology is a lot different than doing that in the ER. I think in the ER, they're like, "You know what? I'm done. Like, 1 week, I'm I'm going home."
yes. No, so it was an absolute blessing in disguise, but it was a great experience. Like, everyone in my department was really nice. The hospital was beyond anything I've ever worked in or been in. So yeah, it was a great experience.
Well, it's very cool. I'm glad you had a chance to go, and it was, like, winter, so you got a little bit of, like, the snow and the New York, when it's not what you typically see.
Very cold.
Yeah, that's okay. Means to an end, right?
What was that?
I said a means to an end. You know? Yeah, no, I lived in Connecticut for a little while, and it was, like, I don't think I'll ever live in the cold ever again. Like, it's not for me. It's just
Yes. Yes.
I think
That's
that's basically how I ended up in Las Vegas, 'cause I went to college and grad school in Buffalo, New York.
yeah. Buffalo is like a whole different beast.
Yeah. So I did New York City for a while, which was okay, like, you can deal with New York City cold. Then I went to Buffalo, and I was like, "Whoa, this is not for me." So I looked up, I was like, "Where's the hottest place in America?" What what's some sort of quality of life, you know? And I chose Vegas. So it's like, "Hey, I need heat." I never wanted to shovel.
But now you guys are in Mexico City where it's, like, cold. Well, it's not maybe it's not cold all the time, but when I got there, I expected it to be, like, nice and warm and, like, tropical, and we were going through, like, what to wear, which they'll probably have heard about on, like, my previous episode. I got there, and fortunately, I had all the appropriate, like, jackets and things, but when I was getting ready to pack, I was, like, taking out, like, swimsuits and, like, sun tarp, and my friend sent me her list of what she's wearing, and I was like, "Where are you going with that leather jacket?" And she used to live in Mexico City, so she's like, "Oh, and I was fortunate that I had that, otherwise, I would've looked at the weather report and be like, "Oh, it'll be fine, it'll change." Yeah,
It's an interesting weather pattern here. It's basically spring-like all the time, but during the day, there's a 30-degree swing almost every day. I can look it up right now, and it's 30 degrees. Mornings are about
40s,
48,
50s.
50. Wake up in the morning, and right now it'll go to 80, like 78, 80 every day. So it's great, but then at night, it starts to drop a little bit.
yeah, so bring your jacket from Mexico City.
Yeah, for sure. But you'll have, especially this time of year, you'll enjoy perfect weather. When we moved in May, it rained quite a bit. Like May to
September.
September, it rained. It wasn't bad rain. Like you could time it. You knew when it was gonna rain.
That's their version of, like, hurricane season.
Yes,
Their rainy
the rainy
season.
season.
Yeah.
So it'll rain. The days you'll be nice. You'll have nice weather, and then come
3
4
o'clock
o'clock, that rain was coming.
every day. Yeah.
And it's not a city with AC, so it's nice to have the cool nights. Otherwise, you'll just be uncomfortable.
And so when you guys moved there, how did you decide where you were going to live?
So I did a lot of research. I did a lot of research on neighborhoods and schools and walkability.
Were you looking for a place with AC?
No, no,
I think very few places have AC here.
yeah.
If any. It would be very, very few.
I think on our apartment hunt, we didn't see any places with
Mhm.
AC. But I think I looked up the neighborhoods beforehand, and I wanted a kind of a family-oriented neighborhood because I think you might have stayed in what, Condesa, Roma?
Mhm, in Condesa.
Yeah, and those neighborhoods are more touristy. They're nice, they're great,
Very nice.
but they're more touristy, and I didn't want necessarily want to walk outside with the kids and have to navigate that every single day. So in this neighborhood, we hardly see any tourists, if ever. But it's still a very nice and safe neighborhood with schools and restaurants and playgrounds and all that.
Is it like a walkable area, or do you guys need a car to get around?
Very walkable.
Very. We don't have a car here. I don't really feel the need to have a car here. I don't need it.
So how'd you do with your cars? Did you just leave them or did you sell them or
I sold my Tesla.
did you? You were committed. You're like, "I'm gone. Bye."
I know.
I still have mine, but my car is older, so I probably would have got jump change for mine. So right now, I still need the car to go to work, so it's serving its purpose, but it's an older car.
But here you don't necessarily need a car. Like everything that we need to get to, maybe 10 to 15-minute walk.
Yeah,
The kids' school is a couple blocks away, groceries are a couple blocks. We have, like, 3 or 4 parks that are 10 to 15 minutes away.
the gym.
The gym,
Yeah,
um,
it's super convenient.
Do you find that you have more free time to do all those things now that you're there as opposed to what life was like when you were living in Las Vegas? Or is it about the same?
Yes and no, because
I say
now
no. Say no.
I feel like we live in a time vortex, right? Like time goes by so fast there. We walk our kids to school. I would drop them off around 8. Then we go to the gym usually. Get back here around 10:30 ish, and then we have to pick them up at 2. So we'll have breakfast or whatever. And during that time, the time just flies. It just flies. And at 2 o'clock, once we pick them up, our day is done. It's all dedicated to them.
Okay, so it's the same thing, it's like doing the same thing, but in a different city because I feel like that's my life right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
I always wonder, I feel like we kind of romanticize the idea of, like, moving abroad and, like, things are gonna be slower and, we're gonna have more time to do things and, like, see these places and have these experiences, but when it's your day to day and, yeah, it's the same thing.
It depends. I think depends on where you are in your life. Like we have small kids, so we have to dedicate a lot of time to them, no matter where we are. But had we moved here as a single couple or anywhere as a single couple, we'd have all the time in the world to do whatever
Yep.
we want.
Yeah. Well, I just recorded an episode with a friend of mine who moved to Spain, and they were basically saying it's the same thing. Like we're living our lives, we're parenting, we're doing all these things. We're just doing it in a different city, but it's the same. So I was like, okay, thanks for reassuring me that I wasn't missing out on on too much.
Like I said, it all depends. If you were to go as a single person or just a single couple, you'd have a great time. You know, I mean, not that we're not having a great time.
I think it's the same thing now though, like, if I was, like, a single, mom or not even a single mom, I was, like, single, didn't have kids, didn't have a husband, I could, like, do all these things, you know? I wouldn't trade them for the world, but it's like, okay, if you had these opportunities and you had a different living situation, then you could do all these things, but, you know, whether and I'd probably be out exploring, more places than I do now, so, it changes things, the dynamic.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think for us, the biggest benefits that we see are in the kids because they're becoming bilingual. They're in this amazing school. They're adapting to the culture here. So we see a lot of the benefits in the kids, you know, and we don't have to stress about safety and violence.
Yeah, and I think that's inspiring for other people who are listening who are maybe thinking about taking the plunge and maybe they want something different for their family and for their kids as well. So, or for themselves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say do it for sure. Like you have nothing to lose. Do it. Doesn't work, you go back.
I feel like I was in sort of a rut maybe probably longer than 10 years ago. And I was thinking, I'm an emergency medicine physician. This is what I trained to do. And this is all that I can do. And I would watch the nurses and they would go and, decide that they were going to rotate and go work in the surgical department. And then, a year later they decided, I'm going to go and become a school nurse or, they decide they're going to work in the ICU or radiology. And I felt like I didn't have those options for myself. And so I don't know if I'm sure, like, nursing is a unique field in that you have all those different avenues. Whereas, like, with medicine, you train for something, you think, "Well, I trained for this, and this is what I have to do." And so it's nice to see that there is opportunity. So even if you're listening and you're a physician and you're like, "Well, that's great for them. They do physical therapy and nursing, so they have the flexibility." But as a physician, you have that flexibility too, and you can make those things happen. You don't have to go back and do another residency. You don't have to train to be able to have flexibility in your job and your lifestyle, and you can make those things work. And you could be living in Mexico City with your family, doing all these really cool things. So,
And I think once you start down that path, like, you kind of see other doors open up, other avenues, and you kind of venture out and are willing to do other things. Like, Tiffany now, like, she just did that contract and was put into radiology, something she would have never done in Vegas. And now she's thankful because of it.
and I think it makes you more a well-rounded person, and you have all these things that you can contribute to, your job when you come back, and also to your family, and it gives you a break. I think it's work, so I don't know how much of a break it was for you to be away for 6 weeks, but, but I'm sure, like, absence makes the heart grow fonder. That's okay. Shout out to Kori for holding it down.
Right.
Uh,
We're holding it down.
Yeah, how was that though? How was, because I can't imagine you've been away for that long before from your kids just working.
It was probably after about week 2, I was, like, really starting to get very homesick. Like, because we didn't know when it was gonna end. I had an end date of when I actually absolutely had to come back home, but that wasn't until March. So,
Okay, so you didn't go there intending to work for 6 weeks then?
no, I went there so the original contract was for 2 weeks, and then it got extended, and then it kept getting extended, and the people that I was working with and, like, managers were saying that it could go on until the spring. So I was mentally prepared to stay for about 2 months.
Was Kori mentally prepared? No.
I saw that how it worked for us, like, it was a strike contract, good money. So in my head, I was like, "Okay, I gotta do this. This is what I gotta do. This is what's gonna help us out." I
It's what's gonna keep us in Mexico.
Days were very long though, long days.
Yeah, I'm sure. How'd the kids do?
They're so good, so adaptable. Like, in terms of missing a parent, like, we made sure they spoke to mom every night. They just did that thing. They were kids. Like, they were yeah.
And how did mom do emotionally being away from the kids?
It was good. I did okay, up until, like, the end, and then the end, I was like, I'm ready to come home. I miss I miss everyone. But no, it worked out. 6 weeks flew by. It was so fast. Now I can just be home and enjoy the kids and enjoy the family until the next one.
Actually, this Saturday, I leave for 2 weeks. Yes, I go back to Vegas, and I work a short stint when I come back.
And what kind of change has that had on, like, the dynamics of your own relationship,
I think it's
The traveling back and forth?
traveling back and forth and yeah.
I think it's definitely made us appreciate parenting as a whole, as a mom, dad, 'cause it's rough when you have just one parent doing everything.
Yeah, when you're by yourself.
It's rough, and we don't do a lot of screen time with the kids, so a lot of times we're the entertainment, we're the referee, we're we're everything. So it's rough when you don't have another adult to, like, even just talk to,
Yeah.
and you're just for me, like, those 6 weeks, I was just with the kids day in, day out.
It's the same
S
thing. It's
most
like the same thing every day.
Yeah, it was just like Groundhog Day every day. Like, the gym would be my outlet, but that was it for my day. I couldn't do anything. We haven't established, like, a nanny or anything here yet, so it was literally me, just the kids, and it's the same routine every single day. I mean,
It
we
does
make it
help. It does help that we're near parks.
Yeah,
We're
exactly.
near parks. Our apartment complex has a great a ginormous kid area downstairs. So if we do need to get out of the house, there's many options.
You have options, yeah, and I think that's important. I think it's important for you guys to yeah, to have options and to be able to find a place to, like, let the kids burn off all that energy, and it's lovely. I did realize that Mexico City had a ton of parks just, like, everywhere, and I was also pleasantly surprised just how green everything was, like, yeah, so
Oh, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful
We
city.
have a lot of parks and a lot of museums.
A lot of museums. Did you do any museums while you were here?
we did not do any museums. We were there for, like maybe, like, 2 full days, yeah, we're already planning our next trip back there, and there's a Park Hyatt that's opening it's supposed to open next year, so we'll see if it actually opens, like, early. Yeah, but, yeah, I'm a hotel girl, so I'll be there, and I'm a Hyatt girl, so, I'll be there.
I we love Hyatt.
Too
Love
bad
Hyatt.
that the evaluation's coming though.
Yeah, I know, so I'm like, I need to book now, but then I'm also like, what's gonna change? Like, are they gonna be open in time? Like, what am I gonna do? Yeah, so the devaluation that Corey is talking about is with, Hyatt. So every year around March, April, Hyatt points will essentially lose their value because certain hotels will go up a category, which means you'll need more points. And then this year they decided to drop this bomb on us that they were going to change the amount of points that you would need even within the category. Like, it's gonna be, like, a higher fluctuation. So, maybe before you could book a hotel for 15,000 points, and now it's like, okay, well, it may be 15,000, but it may be 30,000. So, we'll see, which is kind of in line with, like, Hilton and Marriott and some of the other hotels, but
Yeah, it seems to be more in line with dynamic pricing.
which is sad for us. Sad for us who enjoy, all the benefits of Hyatt and the value that it brings because, we booked Hawaii coming up, and I was able to book one of the hotels for, like, 25,000 points a night, and one the other yeah, it was really nice, and then another hotel for, like, 45,000 points a night. So, our whole week of hotels, including our 2 nights in Hilton and Oahu, are paid for in points, and then I use one to book a flight, so, we paid very very little out of pocket for our flights and hotels to get there, so, you know, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're actually getting ready to do my birthday trip was in July. Well, it's gonna be in July every year, and we're gonna be using a lot of points.
Mhm.
Um,
A lot of Hyatt points.
yeah.
Yeah. Where are you headed?
Likely
DR.
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 Initially it was Guatemala, but this hike that I wanna do, it's gonna be rainy season. I really wanna do this hike, but it's a very hard, strenuous hike, and it's if it's rainy season, it's gonna be muddy. There's a chance that visibility will be poor. So I'm like, "Oh, let's just change it."
Save it for another day.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the DR is beautiful. They've got beautiful beaches, I'm sure the Hyatt properties there.
Yeah, it is.
There's a ton of Hyatt properties, and we'll do it, like, how we like to do it, kinda slow, rent a car, and just drive the island. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. You guys already booked your hotel and everything? Flights?
We haven't booked anything yet. We're just
We just decided
yeah,
yesterday.
we're really leaning in.
Yeah.
Yeah, leaning in on Guatemala, but then I was like, "Ah, I don't wanna really miss out on the views and all that stuff because of the rain." So we're like, "Okay, where else can we go?"
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing trip highlights. Which card are you using to pay for all these things?
Savro now. So right now I'm using the Atmos because it's almost like a no-brainer. 3x on everything I spend here. That's a no-brainer. Flight-wise, we'll use Capital One
Capital
points,
One.
most likely, and then we have tons of, Chase points, which will transfer to Hyatt for some of the hotel stays.
Yeah. And we're looking at the Amex that we talked about. We're looking at getting that one next.
Yeah. I was gonna say Tiffany's gonna get on this, credit card points thing too.
She's been okay, but it's a lot of encouragement. It's a lot of encouragement.
Yes. It's a lot.
We've been working on it. She's been asking a lot of questions recently, and I'm like, "I'm so proud of you." Like, yeah, you know? So
It's a lot. It's I don't like taking out cards, but I gotta play the game. If we wanna go on all these trips, we gotta play the game.
Yeah, we have another person to pay for now.
Yes. Yes, we do.
I know it's fun when they're, like, still the lap child, but yeah, once 2 hits especially when you have 2. So, like, when we used to travel with just Carter, it was just us and, Carter is free, then it's like, "Okay, now we have to pay for a 3rd person." And then the last time we went to Trinidad and we had to pay for all 4 of us, and I was just like, "This is not this is not happening." So, yeah.
And it's also hard to pay for them when they're so young, you know? Our daughter's 2 over 2, so obviously we have to pay, but, like, half the time she's spent climbing on us in our lap. Why should I have to pay a full flight?
Mhm. Yeah, I understand, but it hurts for sure. Yes.
Points do come in handy for that.
They do. Points have been a lifesaver, and so I'm glad that you guys are taking advantage of it. I'm glad that you guys are taking advantage of the Summit card, the Atmos Summit card, so you're earning 3 times back on all your international travels. Anyone who is internationally, I'm like, if you don't have this card, like, you're leaving, like, stuff on the table, you know? And Alaska has so many good, like, flight connections and opportunities, so, yeah. So if you're abroad or planning to spend a lot of time abroad, get yourself an Atmos card.
I agree. I agree. Especially if you live on the West Coast, Hawaii and Alaska. Yeah.
Well, I'm really glad that you guys were able to be here to chat with us today. Are there any last words that you wanna leave with the audience?
I would say if you have any desire, if you have any interest in traveling abroad or even living abroad, just do it. People are super kind and nice and accommodating, and we haven't had in 9 months, we haven't had a single negative experience. So I would say just do it. There's nothing to it, just do it. You can always go back to your previous life if it doesn't work out, but you would never know if you don't try, so do it.
I love that. Yeah, you never know if you don't try. Well, thank you guys again. We'll be sure to follow along on your travels and your trip to the Dominican as well as Guatemala when you get there.
We're actually going to Trinidad first. We're going to Trinidad next month.
No, this month. We're
This
doing
month,
this
actually
month.
this month, later this month.
Okay, so you were like, "No, we're gonna do it now." Alright.
So Trinidad this month and then DR in July.
TR in July. Yes.
Nice. Yeah, good deal. Well, like I said, I'll be following along, living vicariously through both of you as I go to work.
We're gonna be living vicariously through you. You travel just as much.
You know, I wish I could travel a little bit more and, but I try to keep myself pretty busy, or I shouldn't say busy. Not busy, but fulfilled. My cup is very full right now, and I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the life that I've created, and I'm enjoying encouraging others to do the same. So, thank you again, Carmen.
Yeah.
I love it.
Come back and visit us.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Next year we'll do it again.
Yeah, for
Yes.
sure.
I will be here.
Thanks everyone for listening. We'll see you next time.
Ciao.
Ciao.